Hey, everybody, we are live finally. Sorry about the difficulties we were having there. I was having some connectivity issues with my guest, and we've got it figured out. But thank you for joining me. I have finally made it back from the NRAM. That was a really interesting trip. I had a lot of things, different things going on. There was some drama with the NRA that was going on as well, and got to go and see through that as well. But at the end of the day, when it comes to going to the NRA annual meetings, I'm not there to really support the NRA. Naturally, I am a member, but I go there to connect with my friends. And in some cases, that's the only time that I have a chance to see my friends. And it's also a chance to connect with the industry folks that I know as well. So that was a really, really great time. I hope to have kind of a montage video because I really didn't speak with anyone there in particular. But I did want to kind of throw some things together to show you guys what I got to see and all that stuff. So let's jump into this here real quick. Let's say hi to everybody in the chat room. I got the Grim Reaper says that he's sorry he's not going to be able to join tonight, but he did jump in. He's got to work a double. I got something special for you from NRAM. I hope you enjoy it. Dad's got it. You'll see it here soon. Andrew Lovelace, my brother in arms. Always great to see you. Izzy, Taco Tuesday. It is Tuesday. You're eating tacos. I know you're love you, guy. We get Kim Kelly. Hi, how you doing? And yeah, let's get into it. We've got right now just a few people watching. Hopefully some people will be jumping in here in just a second. However, I'm trying to fight through a little bit of sickness. I got a shot in my keister yesterday, literally a dose of penicillin in my hiney, and I am now inoculated. Finally, I let my sickness over the weekend take a little bit too much of a hold of me, and now I'm all better, according to the doctor. But I didn't want to pass up the opportunity to have this guest on tonight because this guest, I think, is going to be able to have a very powerful message and a powerful story. And oh, hi, Ryan, and a chance to kind of allow us to draw back some perspective and understand what life is like for some people out there that I hate to say not necessarily as unfortunate people who are less fortunate because they're making lives happen the way they want to. So that's what I'm most interested in getting into this. So tonight I've got Cara Behrend, I believe is how I pronounce the last name.
Yeah, you got it right.
You got it right. All right. So Karen, thank you so much for taking a chance taking the evening to sit down and chat with me. We connected on Instagram. That's how we found each other. I don't know if I found you or you found me, but we ended up following each other. And right off the bat, I just kind of looked through your feed a little bit and thought, holy crap, this lady is doing some awesome things. And I have got to get her on my show to talk about those things. So first, right off the bat, just tell me a little bit of your background, who you are, and what's going on with you right this second.
So my name is Cara Behrend. I live in Houston, Texas. I was in the Air Force for almost 7 years. I was a 1 and 2 Charlie. So if you guys know what that is, it's an Intel analyst. So I worked with computers a lot. It was a lot of fun. What else do you want to know?
Yeah, just kind of where you came from before the military. You said were you born and raised in Houston? Is that correct?
No. So my dad was in the Army, so we moved around a lot, and then we lived in Connecticut for a while. I went to school in Florida for a year, went back to Connecticut, back to Florida. I was pretty used to like the transient lifestyle. So right after high school, I just kind of went into the Air Force.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting that you would be raised an Army brat and then go into the Air Force. What kind of guided you towards the Chair Force?
Well, you see, I was 17 when I came in, and you need a parent's signature. And my dad knew that the Army was not a place for a female at the time when I was coming in. I was coming in 2011, so you still, Don't Ask, Don't Tell hadn't been repealed, so you still couldn't openly be gay. It just wasn't the greatest of times, especially in the Army for females.
Right.
So he felt the chair force was the best way to go. Unfortunately, too many people said the chair force joke and it actually happened. So
Right, right, right. So, how did you enjoy your time in the Air Force? I know that you did the intel aspect of it. What do you think that you pulled from the Air Force, kind of moving into life after the Air Force? Is there anything? I know this is kind of a sideball questions, one I didn't prepare you for, but
yeah,
I wanted
it's
to keep
okay.
you on your toes.
Oh, I'm always on my toes. Um, I think the Air Force, it taught me how to inspire myself and kind of like keep myself going when I didn't think I could any longer. So like those really tough moments where you got to dig deep and you're like, like this sucks. Like, why am I doing this right now? Like, it just, you learn to keep going. And I think a lot of it for the military, like a lot of us kind of see that and feel that way.
Right. So some would say,
Mhm.
correct me if I'm wrong, some would say that you do have a disability. Can you kind of talk to us about your situation right now, and how did you actually end up in that position?
Yeah, so March of 2015, I was going in for a foot surgery to try and correct some damage that was done, make it so that I could walk again, like a little better, not with so much pain and struggling. And I went in for surgery. Everything was okay, and came out of surgery with this awful burning pain, and it was like the worst pain I had felt in my life. And I had already had a kid, pretty much naturally. So the epidural didn't work when I had my daughter, and I felt everything. And the pain I felt in my leg was,
Oh, heaven help you.
yeah, it was 1,000 times worse. So it was a couple months before my doctor handed me a sticky note, and it was 7 little letters. It was RSD/CRPS, and he said, "Go home and Google it." And so, okay, whatever, like no big deal. Get in the car, and me being me, I'm not gonna wait till I'm home. I'm just googling it and googling it. And the first thing that pops up is the suicide disease. So 4 out of 5 people with this disease, it's called reflex sympathetic dystrophy or complex regional pain syndrome. They end up killing themselves, and it's like a really, really crappy, crappy thing to hear. And for my doctor to not even have the balls, pardon my French, to say it to my face was kind of like, oh, this is serious. So, I had an appointment with a specialist a couple weeks later, and we had just found out I was pregnant with my second daughter. I was married at the time, and the doctor was like, "Oh, you need this spinal cord stimulator. This is the only option you have. It's the only option you have." And so we're like, "Well, did you even look at my file when I came in here?" And he was like, "No, what was I supposed to say?" And I was like, "Well, I'm pregnant." And he was like, "Oh, well, that sucks." He was like, "Come see me when you're not pregnant, or you can terminate the pregnancy." So
That's not the world's best bedside manner, I would say.
yeah, no, but I mean, that's just
Uh, yeah.
we're told to drink water, take Motrin, and change our socks most of the time. So bedside manner really isn't their forte.
Sure. I can understand that. I can.
But yeah, so just things progressively got worse. I was, walking. It was struggling to walk, struggling to walk, struggling to walk, and then in it was July. I'm sorry, June or July of 16. I got into a or sorry, backtrack. April of 16, I had to have back surgery. Um, just routine stuff from not walking properly. It's going to really impact your back and stuff like that. So I had to have back surgery. A couple months later, I got in a really nasty car accident. Had to have back surgery again. And then, a few months down the road, I ended up having to have back surgery again. And through all of this, that disease that was in my leg ended up spreading up through my spinal cord. So instead of just affecting my lower leg, it affects me around like a C6 to C8 level. So it affects my hand function, as well as like, lower body function.
Right, right. I believe, if I remember correctly, you have a video on your Instagram that kind of shows your hand twitching
Yeah.
because of this. Is that right? Yep.
Yeah. So one of them, some of the spasms that happen.
Right on, right on. And then it obviously permanently affects your legs, if my understanding is correct. Yeah, right. So Cara is in a wheelchair and it is full time, correct?
Yeah. It's
Yep.
full time.
Okay. So that is one heck of a life change, right?
Mhm.
Y- what was kind of some of the I mean, I guess let me back up here. Was it a progression into the wheelchair, or was it just kind of one day it's like I've got to do it and moving forward that's the end of it?
So it was about like a month to a month and a half of just progressively getting very, very weak, and just I would have to use the wheelchair when I was tired at night, and then it got to more throughout the day, and then it got to the point where I couldn't even take a couple steps, and then I woke up one morning and I couldn't move.
Hmm.
It was,
Right. Yeah. So, and there's no way for me to 100% understand everything that you're going through. What I can say is, I've got degenerative disc disease in my L4, L5. So when I started to see, through your feed and trying to understand exactly what's going on, it brought me back to when I had one of my episodes with my lower back where I couldn't even get out of bed. My legs could barely even move. And I started to try to put myself in your shoes and understand, okay, I remember what it was like for that small segment of time for me. And this is your life now. So walk me through what what keeps you motivated. I mean, what keeps you kind of pushing forward to just kind of challenge each day, conquer each day, and what are some of the goals that you've got set to kind of get you going and get you moving each day?
yeah. So I think a big thing that motivates me every day is I've had a lot of I've had a lot of doctors when I go through these appointments, and having something rare, obviously there's going to be a lot of people that don't know what you have. But having every single doctor tell me, I don't know what you have. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. This is not real. Um, that's frustrating. I was 21 when I was diagnosed, 25 now, yeah. So I've been dealing with hearing this for 4 years, and I never want somebody to be discouraged or think that they're crazy or have another doctor say that to them. So a big part of why I push myself so hard is because athletically it's building a platform. I'm able to get the name of the disease out there, and more people are going to see it. They're going to be like, oh, what is that? Curious about that. They're going to look it up. They're going to look into the research, and they're going to see what we're seeing, which is nothing. You're not doing any research. There's no awareness, and somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
just, yeah, I just never want anybody else to have that feeling I had when they said, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And then it's pretty admirable too, because, not everybody knows everything. And for someone else to be out there trying to help those that are kind of lost in that situation too is that's amazing. Andrew is jumping in with a really good question. Actually, let me back up because I've got, let's see, Rebels Retaliation says, hey, y'all, glad I can make a little bit of the live. Also, he says that the purplish hair is better than the blue. So he's wanting to pass that to you. And and then Drew wants to know here real quick that he sees that you're an athlete. Did you compete before the accidents and the surgeries?
So I actually was like a cheerleader in high school. I played volleyball. I played field hockey growing up, soccer. Um, you know, beat my brother up in the backyard.
Yeah. Field hockey
Four wheelers.
from your
Yeah.
time in Connecticut?
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. See, that's an East Coast thing, right?
It
That's an East
is,
Coast thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's violent. People don't
It
understand. Like I
it
have
is.
shins of my shins are forever sawed from it, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to kind of divert some attention here real quick because you're in connected with a foundation called Oscar Mike.
Mhm.
It's Oscar Mike Foundation, and I'm gonna kind of let you talk about that here real quick because I've got a small little special announcement with that. So go ahead, tell us what Oscar Mike Foundation is, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so the Oscar Mike Foundation is a nonprofit foundation that supports getting injured veterans up and on the move again. So Oscar Mike in military jargon literally means on the move. And it was started by our founder, Noah Courier, on 11/11 of 2011. Um, he, start, he started making T-shirts a couple years before that, but basically Noah was injured 3 days after coming back from the invasion of Iraq. He was in a bad accident and it left him as a quadriplegic. So he's a high quad, so low function. Um, so he found the VA Winter Adaptive Sports Clinic, and he was talking to the guys. He's like, "Man, this really helps me. Like, this is helping my depression, my spirits, like getting me back up." And he's like, "Why don't we do this more often?" They're like, "We can't afford this." And he's like, "Well, what can I do to make us, make it so people can do this?" And he um, he started making T-shirts. This C4 quadriplegic and his buddy started making T-shirts out of his two-car garage, and they started funding athletes, and they started just making it bigger and bigger. And so now we have the nation's first and only all veteran quad rugby team. So that's pretty cool. We fund athletes. We get amputees, paraplegics, quadriplegics through Spartan races, obstacle course races, all over the country. We do anything and everything we can to get you up and on the move again.
Right on. That's awesome. So, with that being said, I'm a huge fan of a lot of the veteran supported and founded foundations. Um, Guys in the chat, if anyone is interested in donating to Oscar Mike, I've got a link to it down in the description below. There should be some directions on how you do that. Or if you would like, you can also put in any type of super chats into the chat. If you do put a super chat in, that money will go directly to Oscar Mike Foundation. I will keep a tally of everything, and then I'm automatically going to donate some money as well. So we'll see what we can get. We can see what we can get pulled together tonight. If you guys are interested in doing that, there is no obligation whatsoever as all. But it's something that I feel connected to and something that I want to support as well. So hopefully we will get some donations in tonight, and or at the very least, you get a donation from me.
Awesome.
So
Yeah. Thank
yeah,
you so much. I
yeah,
really appreciate that.
no problem. So what you mentioned, I think you mentioned wheelchair rugby. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is something that you're involved in.
Yep.
What in the world is wheelchair rugby? And I mean, it sounds so awesome. I want to do it, you know?
Yeah. So if you can picture, let's see, Mad Max and like really disgruntled, pissed off cripples. Could you? Okay. So you see where I'm going with this?
Yes, I
It is
can.
full contact. So like, I'm not gonna punch somebody in the face, but like I'm gonna hit you as hard as I can and try and make you flip yourself over. So it's crazy. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, we call it murder ball.
Right.
It's called
Yes.
murder ball for a reason. Yeah.
Right on. So I am I've heard the term murder ball before. I thought it was wheelchair basketball.
Oh no,
No?
there's
Okay.
way too many. You can't hit people in that. It's a
Well,
little
you can do
too
anything
soft.
you want whenever.
As
There's
long
just
as the ref doesn't see.
well, there's that, but I was going to say there's consequences to everything you do. So,
If
so
any of my refs, ooh, I'm falling asleep. If any of the refs are listening, I didn't mean that.
well, right off the bat, we've got Drew donating $10 to my PayPal, and then I've got MilSpec Mike jumping in with the $5
Thank you
through
guys so
Skype
much.
Super Chat as well.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, that's awesome. So I'm just going to put it out there. I'm donating $50 right off the bat, and
Those are
depending on
awesome.
where we're at by the end of tonight, I may donate some more. So we'll go from there. So, oh, Drew wants to know: are they strapped to the wheelchair?
So we are strapped. If you check out my Instagram, I think the link is on your profile, or my Facebook. You can see the chairs that we're in. There's a couple of videos as well, but we are strapped in. Let's see if I can put this down. So you're strapped in at the waist, and then you're also, for some of us, we have our knees strapped to the bars that are on the chair, as well as your feet being strapped down as well to the foot plate. So you are fully strapped in, and then a lot of us also use a belt that goes around your waist like this, kind of like an ab binder,
Right.
to keep you to the chair. That way you don't fall over.
Right on. Right on. So, hey, so real quick, Milspec guy says that he'll be checking in on me to make sure that the $5 does, in fact, actually go to the foundation. And as soon as everything comes in, I will show you guys a picture on my Instagram of the receipt of the donation to Oscar Mike Foundation. And then Izzy Long jumping in, since YouTube takes 30%, here's an even 10 because I'm poor. Laugh out loud. Rock on. Very inspirational.
Thank you so much, Izzy.
Izzy, thank you so much, man. Again, it was great to see you this last weekend. And you, sir, are a true inspiration as well. So I sure do appreciate that. So right off the bat, right there, we're up to $30 plus my 50. That's $80 right there, guys. So thank you so much for that. All right. So Murder Ball. What's like the worst injuries that you've seen with Murder Ball? Tell me about that.
So surprisingly, it's not as dangerous as you think. I mean, so murder ball is a quadriplegic sport. So everybody there has pretty much already broken their neck. It doesn't really get much worse.
Right on. So, how do you kind of stay in shape to be able to, you know, because I can tell you guys you may not be moving as fast or as probably what my mind perceives that you are, but still that's a lot of work. So, I mean,
What area of the country do you live in?
I live
You mind me
in
asking?
the great, wonderful free state of Kansas.
Okay. So Kansas City. Are you anywhere near there, or would you be able to go there?
Yes, absolutely. I'm 2 hours west of there. My sister lives just outside of Kansas City in Olathe.
Perfect. So, well, two things. One, I have a wheelchair national, or sorry, the World Series of Wheelchair Softball tournament in Kansas City this summer that you should come out and check out, because that's insane as well.
I will. I will definitely do that.
But we definitely have wheelchair rugby tournaments in Kansas City, so you should definitely come check it out in person.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll
'Cause
definitely do that.
I don't know how else to explain like the intensity, because it's very, very fast paced, hard hits. Like, honestly, most people don't even think of us as disabled when we're on the court.
Sure, sure. And I know that I mean, realistically, with any sport, regardless of the individual, there's going to be a level of competition. There's going to be a level of focus and
Mhm.
this level of like, yeah, you know, while I'm on the court, I'm going to try to rip your heart out, but afterwards, let's grab a beer, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right on, right on. So, um, I'm trying to go through my notes here to make sure I stay on track. But what has been, I guess, what has been some of the most rewarding aspects of you playing the wheelchair rugby murder ball? You do a lot of traveling with that. Is that correct?
I do, yeah. I travel. I, not just with rugby, I travel. I do a lot of work with the Air Force Wounded Warrior program. They're actually who started me in adaptive sports when I was still on active duty. So I travel about 6 times a year with them. We do care events all over the country, introducing adaptive sports to newly injured wounded warriors, and then teaching them different resiliency tools. So we do that, and then I travel for the city of Houston for their basketball team, wheelchair basketball, and then I just got picked up for the city of Houston's wheelchair softball team.
Awesome.
So
So
a
I
lot
did
of
see,
traveling.
yeah. I did see that some of your posts referenced the Warrior Games.
Yep.
Could you tell me about that real quick?
So the Warrior Games are a Paralympic style competition for wounded warriors across all 5 service branches, along with, I believe we brought on 4 international partners this year: Canada, France, Great Britain, and Australia, I believe. Um, don't sue me if I'm wrong. But so it's 13 different adaptive sports, and it's really like top notch, very highly competitive athletics.
I'll say, and that runs the gambit of everything that's out there. Correct. Some of the different sports.
I'm sorry.
Some of the different sports that they have available. That's
Oh
just
yeah.
going to be. What are
Track.
some of them? What are some of them that you can think of?
So we have track and field, we have basketball, seated volleyball, wheelchair rugby, golf, wheelchair tennis, air rifle, so Olympic precision shooting, air rifle and air pistol, and archery and swimming and
Awesome.
rowing, and rowing as well. Sorry,
Rowing. Awesome. That's
and
really
powerlifting.
powerlifting.
Yeah, have to name them
Whoa.
all. Yeah, so there's a
uh,
lot.
that's amazing. All right. Tack Hub jumping in there. There, he says, they say, signed in with the company. I'm going to look into Oscar Mike. Thank you. Inspiring exclamation
Awesome.
points. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. You guys, man, you're blowing me away with all of this.
You guys are great.
This is amazing. All right. So, let's see here. Now, I did see one of the posts that really kind of moved me the most was that you had an Instagram post where you were speaking to or shaking the hand of a 2-star general, and you said that it was really good to see the higher echelons listening to people like yourself. Can you walk through what was going on in that, because it looked like you had a speaking engagement with that?
Yeah, so I was doing a speaking engagement for the National Day of Healing with the Air Force Wounded Warrior program. It was at the end of our Joint Base Andrews Cara event. So we had a week-long Cara event with a huge group of brand new wounded warriors, and really trying to get these resiliency pieces back into their lives and kind of teach them these things. And at the end, we had this big closing ceremony, and it was a National Day of Healing, so we did it even bigger, and they asked me to speak. So it was the first time that I got up in public and spoke, my truth, my story, and it was really, really difficult for me. They had to like physically lift me and my chair up onto the stage, and anybody who knows me knows that that is like the worst possible thing. Like if I can't do it myself, I don't want to do it. It's just I like to be as independent as possible. It's just how I am. And so I get up there and I'm shaking really bad, and I tell my story.
You don't like public speaking?
I'm getting better at it.
Good.
And can you tell I'm like twitching and shaking this whole time, like fidgeting with my peach drink?
No, I mean, this is a conversation with you and me, so right?
Yeah, no. I don't know, I get nervous, but I got through it, and she came up after me, and I could see her when I was speaking, and she was just crying.
Mhm.
And I was talking to her afterwards, and she was like, "Well, what could we have done better?" And I was like, "I've been waiting for somebody to ask me that for so long, because like, the Air Force did wonderful things for me, but they also did some things that maybe weren't the smartest decisions." And that's not their fault. We're not all taught to think. We're taught to follow, policy, and we don't think about the human behind that uniform, especially when you're in. You think about the slot that they have to fill, the man hours, the manpower, like everything you have to replace if they're gone. We don't think about the individual, like, if we had done this and this, maybe we'd have them back here again, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I can definitely understand that. One of the last jobs I had in the military was I was an officer, so I was the battalion maintenance officer, and I had to sit through the battalion bubs and listen to the battalion commander and the company commanders talk about personnel situations, and in some cases those conversations were really kind of interesting to see that the commanders really understood what was going on with their soldiers, and some of the conversations it was just numbers. So that's it's really cool to see that a leader came up to you and said openly, you know what, maybe we got it wrong, and we're going to try to figure a way to get it better.
yeah. And I
That's
mean, I was retired at the time. I had bright blue hair, so like, you know,
she did.
she can't come at me for what I'm gonna say, and I'm not gonna come at her because I'm already out, and I don't want them pulling me back in.
See, I think anytime that you speak to a general, you should just tell them what's on your mind, and then at the very end, just say, "Fight me,"
Fight
and
me.
see where it goes with it.
See, but one of these days they're gonna actually fight me, and then it's gonna be the cop showing up, like, "Ma'am, why did you assault this crippled girl?" And she's gonna say, "She assaulted me." And
See,
even if I did, they're never gonna believe her.
exactly. It's a win-win for you because you get
Yeah,
your point across, and if they don't listen to you and they try to fight you, they still lose. So I mean, you can't lose, right? Right.
exactly.
I wanted to head back up into the chat a little bit because I did miss this from Rebels Retaliation. He says, as someone who works with people with quote unquote disabilities, I have to say that Cara is a huge inspiration to so many. Amazing to see how someone who pushes through the pain to do something outside the norm, and that's definitely pretty true. So I can tell you a long time ago when I was a little bit younger. I actually played rugby, and I played rugby for Kansas State University and blew my knee out. I
Awesome.
yeah, destroyed my left ACL and had to have complete ACL reconstruction with a no, I didn't do the cadaver. I did my own hamstring replacement. So yeah, that was
You didn't want somebody else inside of you.
I. Yeah, thanks. No, I just I did not. I did not. I actually had that conversation with my doctor. He said, "Hey, we can do a cadaver." I'm like, "Hell no! I don't want some dead body's part inside of me." And there's the slight possibility that your body would reject it, so they'd have to go back in and do it. And I was on a very strict timeline at that point because I was transitioning from enlisted to active duty. Enlisted active duty. Listen to me. Listed to officer because I was going through green to gold, and I was already getting set back by 6 months. If I was delayed any further, then I
You would have
would.
lost your commission.
I would have.
Yeah.
I had to get commissioned before I was 31, and I commissioned less than a month before I was 31. So yeah. So, um, let's see. Mark didn't want someone else inside him. Yes, thank you, Andrew. Let's see. Drop
I'm
it like
sorry.
no. That was good. That was good. Hey, to get me to pause right in the middle of a sentence like that, that's really good because believe me, the people that I hang out with to get me to right and
So
go ahead.
I'm so used to the guys like on my rugby team. We're just we're a bunch of veterans, so we just talk and we just
Yep.
back and forth.
Yep. And Ryan is here saying, Alana, where are you? Alana is a good friend of mine who is the queen of that's what she said jokes. So,
I love
uh,
it.
so, oh man. Anyway, hey, 180 seconds jumped in. Woo! Good to see you, bud. It's so good to see you this weekend. Hopefully you didn't get sick this weekend either. So, Crispies for life. Thanks, Yehuda. Oh my goodness. So that is actually pretty awesome. Let me get back to my questions here because I was a little bit under prepared for our for our live chat, and this is going off the rail really quick. So we've talked about Oscar Mike. Where do you see yourself kind of, and this is not on my list here, but where do you see yourself moving off in the future, in the next 5 years, maybe the next 10 years? What are some of your aspirations and goals that you'd like to accomplish over these next few years?
Um, Next 10 years, I actually am trying to be the first female on the U.S. Paralympic rugby team. So that's my goal. We've never had a female, and I'd like to be the one.
So let me ask you about that, because I understand rugby. So, and I'm not sure if the languages translate, but what position do you play in the wheelchair rugby?
So we have 4 positions in wheelchair rugby. They're based on your classification. So I'm a high pointer. I have higher levels of function than other players on the court. So I class them as a 3.5 out of a 3.5 scale, but I play as a 3.0 because I'm a female. So we have a half a point deduction for being a female. For being over 45, you get another half a point.
That doesn't sound right.
It's a co-ed sport with 20 females and like 600 males. Females naturally are a lot just muscular tone wise, especially after these kinds of injuries. It's to even the playing field, honestly.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't completely understand it. So
No, you're good. Yeah, no, ask away.
if you don't completely disagree with that, then I'm fine with it too. But I just see,
So
uh,
I mean, if I were to disagree with it, I'd have to disagree with the entire classification schedule or classification guideline because you get points off of being older because your cardiovascular system isn't as strong, especially after spinal cord injuries being a quadriplegic. So if we're giving people points off for being older, why are we not giving them off to females that are, biologically a little less, muscular? It's just how it is. Like functional, it's just
okay. I'm just, I'm sorry. The social justice warrior inside of me is starting to creep up, and I was, I was,
fine.
yeah, and so it's always I shouldn't say always, but is more than likely it's going to be co-ed.
So it is co-ed.
Yep.
So that's why there is that half a point deduction for females.
Okay, got it.
It is
Okay.
co-ed. There's just not a lot of us that play.
Okay, got it. Okay, I'm okay now. I'm better now. So proceed.
Proceed. Yeah, so there's 4 players on the court, and you can have a total of 8 points. So points range anything from 3.5, which is me, before the deduction, to a 0.5. And then you can technically be a 0.0 with an age deduction or as a female. But it's based on your function level. So a C8 quad is going to have function more like me. C4 is going to have very minimal hand movement, no triceps, no biceps, and really have, be a lot slower. And they're going to be a defensive player. So their role is to just get in the way. There's.
Okay, got it. Right. Okay, got it. Right. So, so there's basically it's going to be 4-on-4.
Mm-hmm.
Pitching the ball, is it still laterally or behind you? Is that correct?
Nope. So with this, you can actually throw it forward, and we use a volleyball kind of. I WRF, International Wheelchair Rugby Federation ball. It's like a little bit thicker than a volleyball. It's
Right.
just a little different, but same premise.
Awesome. So again, that's interesting. Like you said, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and head on over to Kansas City when there's a game going on,
Yeah.
and basically get to understanding what's going on with that. So
When you do, or you can just, after we're finished tonight, you can go and what is it? YouTube Murder Ball.
yeah, of
You
course.
can actually check out the national championships that we played in this past year.
All right. Yeah, we'll do that.
About a month ago. Yeah.
Okay. So I took us through a really big detour on the fact that you said you want to be the first woman on the national wheelchair rugby team, correct?
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what else? What else do you got as far as some of your goals?
There's a couple field records for shot put that I'd like to break. Yeah, there's a couple of world records I think I can break, so I'm gonna do that.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a half marathon in my rugby chair with my wheelchair rugby team in November. So I'm gonna accomplish that because I've never gone that far in one try. So why not?
Right. Is there an opportunity for you to get involved into the Paralympics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So are you familiar with how the trials and everything works with the Paralympics?
Yeah, there is a qualification meet that I'm actually looking at for the middle of June.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
yeah,
And
so put up some official times.
All of that will be I don't know if I can say that word. So you'll post everything on your Instagram, correct?
Yeah. I'll definitely let you guys know what's going on. If I make any sort of Paralympic team, I think the entire world will hear it from my mouth because I will grow all of the diaphragm that day and just yell.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty
yeah.
Well, so what are some of the other activities? We've talked about murder ball. We've talked about some a little bit of the speeches that you do. Are there other organizations besides Oscar Mike that you're involved with? And if people are interested in either volunteering for some of those organizations or finding ways to help out, how can they do that as well?
Yeah. So there's a couple more organizations that I'm in or that I'm involved with. I'm involved with a nonprofit called Be More Adaptive. Their goal is to basically make accessibility a norm. In your lifetime, in all of our lifetimes, you are going to be disabled or limited by something at some point. Whether it be age making you slower, you have deteriorating disc disease, degenerative disc disease, that's going to make you have a harder time walking. So, these adaptations that you guys see as making a home accessible are really just making them inclusive for everybody at all times. And we really just want that to be the norm. So that's called Be More Adaptive. There'll be more information about that on my Facebook page, on my Instagram as well. Oscar Mike information is also on my Facebook page as well. You guys feel free to contact me if you have any questions, comments, concerns.
Absolutely. Great. So I do have the Oscar Mike. I've got the Oscar Mike organization set up in a link down in the description below. I've also got got16.com. I think that you're tied in with them. Is that correct?
Yep, got16. They are a veteran-run softball organization. They're looking to try and they support veterans in the softball community. So most of them are able-bodied, trying to pursue Major League Softball dreams. I'm the first adaptive softball player that they've had come in, so I've really been helping them kind of get into the adaptive softball world and make their presence more known and start supporting more in that realm as well. So they do everything based off of a clothing line as well, which seems I get a lot of clothing companies.
Right on. So drop it like it's Scott says Instagram question mark. See, drop it like it's Scott. That's an app. You can usually get it on your smartphone. It is tied to Facebook as well, and it's a social media platform that allows people to connect with one another. You can post pictures and little tidbits about the pictures if you'd like as well. For Tack Hub, he says, "What is your Instagram?" And I'll follow. That is down in the description below because it's not as simple as like Fit and Fire 78. It's Cara
You can
H.
so on Instagram if you just type in KARAH, it pops up. I'm the first one that pops up.
There you go.
This blue-haired girl doing some yoga with a wheelchair behind her because it's really inspirational.
Yep, there you go. And yeah, Scott, I had to be a little bit of smart arse because this dude went to NRAM and it came home with like freaking $2,000 worth of free stuff. So yeah, hey Vanessa Kitty, good to see you there. Let's see. I wanted to get back up here in just a second because someone was asking. There was a question here. Man, I'm missing it here. Someone was asking about if you have worked with Lemon's Pain Clinic in Kansas City. Have you ever heard that?
No, I try to stay away from pain clinics.
And is there a particular reason why you just don't believe in them or the snake oil?
I mean, a lot of them either want to push opiates on you or they want to push surgeries on you. Yeah. I really just want to live my life at this point. So like with this disease, I do have pain, but I've learned different tricks and tips just to kind of mitigate it in my brain so that I don't put it as bad, I guess.
Right on. Thank you so much for that and explaining that because I know that for some people it could be a little bit of a touchy subject. I don't. When I first started going to the VA for my annual visits, and they wanted to look at my back a little bit more to find out if they were going to increase or maintain my current disability percentage, they sent me to a pain specialist, and they ended up just giving me a whole bunch of pills. Ended up taking like up to 6 pills a day. And I ran that little gauntlet there, went back to him and says, it didn't change a thing. And he's like, okay, well then obviously medicine is not going to be the cure for you. And I'm like, well, I never wanted it to be in the first place. Yeah. So yeah, you can talk to my friends, you can talk to my family. They'll tell you that if I don't have to see the doctor, I won't. And if I don't have to take pills, I won't. I just prefer to allow my body to work itself out as best as possibly can. But I do understand that doctors are there and they serve a purpose. So, yeah, so there's that. Real quick, people, if you guys are just jumping into the chat, I know that 22 Cheapster, you're in there. Good to see you, buddy. I know that Vanessa Kitty jumped in as well. A few other people may have jumped in a little bit after the announcement, but Cara is with us. She is a disabled vet, and she is tied into a organization called Oscar Mike Foundation. It is a awesome foundation to help those in the community that are. Well, you know what, Cara, can you just go ahead and go over it real quick again?
Yeah. So Oscar Mike is a nonprofit that, in military jargon, literally means on the move. So our mission is to keep injured veterans and well, not just keep, but get injured veterans up and on the move again after serious and life-changing illnesses and injuries. Yeah.
Thank you for that. I didn't want to mess it up because I know that even in my drugged state at the moment, I probably would mess it up. But so far we have Drew, the Milspec guy, Izzy, and Tack Hub donating $35. I'm donating another
Those are the
$50,
goals.
which is awesome. So if you guys are interested in dropping some money either into the PayPal that is down in the description below, or if you want to drop some money into the super chat, all of that money is going to Oscar Mike Foundation just as soon as I get a tally when we're done here. And then hopefully probably tomorrow, maybe the next day, I'll have an Instagram post showing me donating the money to you guys to the Oscar Mike. That's pretty awesome. So again, if you guys are interested, you're more than welcome to do that. I keep thinking Oscar Mayer when Fit and Fire says Oscar Mike. You probably should get something to eat, Ryan. Because that's probably what is really going on with that. Vanessa Kitty jumping in there saying, very nice. Fellow vets, retired Air Force here as well. So there you go, Vanessa, you and Cara.
Another chair force.
There you go. Both retired Air Force. Let's see. Rebels Retaliation says, good night, y'all. I will be donating to the charity tomorrow directly. Thank you so much. That is awesome. I refuse to fund the overlords. That's perfectly fine, dude. It's perfectly fine. The ability to just not only spread the word is also good there as well. And then, of course, Milspec Guy is a dick because he likes to talk about Marx and Oscar Mayer Wiener himself. So anyway, this is the crew that this is the crew.
I love it. I was
We
going to
are,
let you know. So
yes.
if people aren't comfortable donating, like directly, just, giving up money, the shirts that we sell on the show, they also are on the show. This is your show. The shirts that we sell on the site, the proceeds actually go directly to the foundation as well. So, I know the guy that owns this nonprofit. He doesn't have a lot. He doesn't, he's not taking money from any of this. It goes directly back into helping the veterans. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Tac Hub just dropped in another $5.
Thank you, Tac Hub.
Excuse me. Yes, another $5. So that brings us up to $40 tonight. And just so you guys know, regardless of what YouTube or PayPal or whatever they pull out of it, the money that it says that is being donated, so we're up to $40, that's going to be the money that is donated. So you don't have to worry about the overlords taking any money out of it. That's exactly what is going to be donated. So see, now you guys are even talking about hot dogs. And so Keith actually has a really great question here real quick.
Yeah.
We'll get his question. He says, does your guest like guns? And I think here about a month or so ago, I saw a picture of you holding up a Scar 16. Is that right?
So funny story, that Scar was actually an airsoft rifle. And when I lived in Hawaii, I would sit outside on my porch, fresh out of the shower, towel in my hair, smoking a cigarette with that airsoft guns, and I'd shoot at things that were, I was able to shoot at. And that was my morning routine.
There you go.
Drink some coffee and shoot an airsoft gun. But we couldn't have no guns there. So.
Hawaii. Yeah. That is very true. I did wanted to say Tac Hub here real quick. I don't know if I mentioned it or not. Their message here said, have to run, but thank you for sharing your inspirational story. Stay strong. I'm going to look into Oscar Mike and see how I can help. So that is very, very awesome.
Thank you so much.
So you're in Houston now.
Yeah.
You're in the great state of Texas. I think if there was any other state that I would live in besides the free state of Kansas, it would probably be the Lone Star State, and then just commute to Colorado when I want to go ski, I guess. But anyway,
I mean, we get all 4 seasons here. We have like all of the different trains. It just depends on where in Texas you want to be.
Right. So you have pre-summer, summer, post-summer, and then allergy season, right? That's the 4 seasons?
Close. No. So in Houston, I actually have a picture of a speed sign underwater, like And then I also have the same one 2 months later, covered in snow.
Okay.
So tell me, Texas doesn't make any sense there.
Yeah, I know. I did see. I think Yehuda in the chat room. He posted something here just a few weeks ago talking about the 12 seasons of Texas, and there's the false. There's the winter, and then there's the fall spring, and then there's the second winter, and so on and so forth. That goes through down the list. It was actually pretty funny. So
It's very true.
let's see. Vanessa saying that she lived in Fort Worth from 2000 2010. Well, why did you leave? And then
it was Dallas.
No, it's Fort Worth. It's a separate
Dallas,
city.
Well, the Cowboys are up there, so I hook it all together. Exactly. That's my reaction.
Keith says that he's been to Galveston, and she went to Fort Worth for a master's degree. So I guess that's fine.
Acceptable. We'll
accept him. Yeah, it's you had to take one for the team. So Milspec guy saying I'm laying off the wieners right now, losing the sympathy weight I picked up with the wife over the winter. Oh yeah. So Milspec guy just had a baby, and yes, the sympathy weight is a real thing. So I can tell you.
Andrew was telling him to embrace the dad bod. Yes, Andrew.
Yes. Right on. So we're going to start wrapping this up. We've been at it for just about an hour. What would be the thing that you would want everyone to know, not only necessarily about yourself, but the world that you live in right now?
I mean, our worlds really aren't that different. My only limitation is walking. You have a limitation as well. I just don't know what it is. Mine is very visible.
My limitation right now, I can tell you, is fighting 6'3" people, and
take their legs out and fight them on the ground. They're the same height as you. Then
the rules wouldn't allow me to do that.
Why?
Because it was a kickboxing match. So
you went into the wrong sport. You should have gone into like MMA.
Yeah, I know. And then my next limitation is that I have a glass nose because it broke very quickly. So
okay. So
I'm making light of something.
Rugby wouldn't be your thing. Yeah, rugby wouldn't be your thing. Then balls flying at your face would not be.
Oh, that's what she said. See, I got you back. I got you back.
Yeah. There goes your social life. It's okay. Anyways. But yeah, no. Yeah, so like my only limitation is really walking. Nothing else is really a limit. I don't see why people have to see this as a bad thing. I have a wonderful life.
Yeah.
And I wish more people could see that, I do live a very normal life. I just move a little different.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you your life is full. You've got things that are pushing you each and every single day. You want to be better. You want to help other people be better.
I live independently. I cook, I clean, I bathe myself, I take care of myself. I travel the world by myself. How many people that are able-bodied can say that they can do that without freaking out on the airplane? So.
Yep, exactly. I mean, it's hard enough right now. My wife's deployed into Afghanistan at the moment, and it's hard enough for me to get a 9-year-old to school most days, right? So for someone that is as hard driving as you are, and just being you, that is so much inspiration right there. So. Thank you for taking the time to be with me tonight, to kind of share your story and to kind of point out that last fact that just because you're in the wheelchair doesn't mean that you live life any different. You're still doing a lot of the same things that everybody else is, and I think that is absolutely awesome and a very valid point.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Last thing for
you the floor is yours. You take as long as you need.
Oh no! So the one last thing I was going to tell everybody is, if you come up to me and you do not know my name or like my favorite color, what I like to eat, what I like to do for hobbies, and you ask me what happened to me, I most definitely am going to lie to you. and that's all of us. And it's going to be something that at the end of the story, you feel like an idiot for ever asking.
And then you punch him in the dick.
No,
Oh, come
no.
on.
I have some good ones that make them mentally feel like they got punched in the dick. They're pretty funny.
Even better. Even better. And you won't get arrested.
I mean, I'm not going to get arrested anyways. Let's be real.
Touche. So again, I do appreciate you taking the time to join. You know, I know that the live chat is a little bit later than what most people are up for, but you know, just being so open. So you guys know, I just sent her a random DM and said, "Hey, my name is Mark, and I run this silly little freaking YouTube channel, and I'd like to have you on my show so you can talk." And you're just like, "Yeah, seems cool." So, I mean, just that instant, and it was really cool. You got, I didn't really creep you out too much. So, all right, so here it is. We're going to shut it down real quick. It's the tally tonight is we got $40 worth of donations, which is awesome. I'm going to up my pledge to $60 so that we can throw in an even $100. And
thank you guys so much.
Yeah, that is so awesome. Everybody dropping some money in. And then those of you who are not interested in contributing to this, which is perfectly fine, please swing by OscarMikeFoundation.org and check that out. And if you're interested in supporting it, please do, because I'm hooked into it now. So I want to see what else I can do for you. So yeah,
you guys can always come volunteer and hang out. So.
There you go. Yes, absolutely. So real quick, I want to change gears here and say thank you to everybody in the chat room. Keith, Gregory, it's always good to see you. Ryan, oh hi Mark, Ladderbach, thanks for that. I always appreciate that. Vanessa Kitty, you're always awesome. Drew Lovelace, Mario, good to see you. Adam, I did see you jump in there, and yes, I got it. I got to respond to it. I will put my response video out here shortly. I'm backed up. I got like 4 videos. I've got one I have to have done tomorrow. I don't know how am I going to do it. Oh my god! But we're gonna get it done. And thanks for everybody. Tac Hub, you guys are awesome. Milspec Guy, Izzy, Drew, everybody else. If you're watching it on the replay, thank you so much. I sure do appreciate you following up later on. That is awesome as well. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Again, Cara, thank you so much for taking the time tonight to spend with me and our lovely peeps in the chat room.
I got to be the first Milspec guy had his baby. So congrats.
There you go.
Congrats. He said he helped. So congrats.
There you go. Right on. There you have it. So, all right, we're out of here. Thanks again, y'all. And as always, keep calm and carry. We'll see you later. Good night.